That puts us into the rumor mill, nerds. Rumors this week, we have multiple Doctor Doom rumors to discuss. We have George Lucas updating us on some George Lucas rumors that we were talking about previously, as well as more Resident Evil updates coming down the pike if you want to believe the rumor mill.
It's classified.
Hello nerds, and welcome to the Rumor Mill. You have found the appropriate cheat code to get to the news before it becomes news. Here we will discuss rumors in the pop culture and nerdy realm of things, then we will discuss the probability that those rumors are legitimate, and then finally probably a little bit of my own personal speculation. If you want the more concrete news that has already become news, then there is a full news show over on the main channel called The Week in Nerddom, which you can find linked down in the description, as well as at the end of this video. Now, let's see what all of those rumor mongers have to say, and which of them are just plain full of poop. All right, so big one. We have a refutation. We're doing the confirmations refutations subsection this week because we have a big refutation from none other than George Lucas. So previously we were talking about the fact that George Lucas was rumored to be coming back to do another Star Wars film or sit on the production chair and do a series or some sort of involvement with the Star Wars franchise. In a recent interview, George Lucas said in no uncertain terms he is done with making movies. He specifically called out the final movie he worked on as a producer and talked about that in the interview. That was the last movie he was going to be working on. He is going to venture into other things. It's irrelevant to the point we're making right now. He is not coming back to save Star Wars. And as I said previously, even if he was, I don't think it would save Star Wars. So there you go. Let's talk about some new sources for old rumors. We have two of those, one of which is our first Doctor Doom rumor. So the first rumor in the section though is Young Avengers. We have again another source coming out and saying, yes, the Young Avengers is going to be a movie. Only this time the source kind of elaborates a little bit, and they say specifically that it's going to revolve around Miss Marvel and Hawkeye. So the Iman Vellani playing Miss Marvel and Hailee Steinfeld, if you remember, Hailee Steinfeld actually technically playing Hawkeye. So that's a thing. It's a new source for an old rumor. We're not giving it a percentage, but there you go. From there, we have our next one is Doctor Doom. We now have Giancarlo Esposito fanning those flames that he is in fact going to be playing one of the best villains from comic book history, Doctor Doom. It is based on something he alluded to at a Comic-Con interview over the weekend. So the fact that he didn't say it explicitly is why it is still technically rumor. So until he says, this is the character I'm playing in the MCU, we just have to keep speculating as to who that might be. So now let's talk about some new rumors, shall we? Okay, so like I said, there's going to be a couple of these rumors that were based on speculation from the other areas of the news this week. The first one that we're talking about is Blade. So we have a new writer that they're probably bringing in sometime soon. We have new writer with the exit of Michael Green. The movie is now set because of the exit of Michael Green. According to the rumor, the movie is now set for another round of major renovations. The significant revisions is the terminology they used. Another round of significant revisions, and also they're going to be moving into casting for the main villain, which if you're doing significant revisions, then how would you be going into casting for the main villain? Because theoretically that could mean that the villain changes, right? I choose to believe that that's not the case, but Michael Green's gone. So yes, of course they're bringing in a new writer. And because we still don't have official release, there's nothing set on the books in public for this movie yet, there's no reason to not believe that they're going through significant revisions. So we're looking at 90% likely that this is happening. There is another rumor here though. Blade rumor number 2 is that Mahershala Ali is so upset with the current state of things that he is also leaving the project, much like the other 6 writers. This one seems a lot less likely because Mahershala Ali has been kind of the champion of this character throughout this whole process. So if he's frustrated with Disney, that's one thing, but I don't think that I think it would take a lot, let's put it that way. I think it would take a lot more than this to get him to leave the project, because I don't think there's a point where anyone wouldn't leave a certain project, but I think it would take a lot more than what we're looking at here to push him off. So a likelihood that Mahershala Ali is going to be leaving the Blade project, at least at this point in time, 20%, not super likely. From there though, we have a new Venom 3 movie leak. I guess this one technically is, but we can't verify that it's a leak until the movie releases and we can compare what this says versus what actually happens in the movie. But according to the leak, they're just kind of some bullet points. We have that the Eddie Brock is going to try and kill Peter Parker, but it's going to be Peter Parker in his multiverse, who is much younger than Peter Parker in the 616, which is the MCU version. And then weird things happen and he decides he's going to protect Peter, but then we get, what is the symbiote's name? Why can't I remember? Toxin, there we go. We get Toxin shows up on the scene and he creates a couple other symbiotes and they're going to go out and destroy San Francisco, like just San Francisco. They're not going to try and destroy the world or take over the world. They only set their sights on San Francisco, according to the leak. That's the way it's going. And then we get the introduction of the Jury, which is a human squad of people who are trying to kill symbiotes. So you've got Venom trying to protect Peter, you've got Toxin and whatever offspring he's bringing with him trying to kill Venom and Peter, and then we also have the Jury trying to kill the symbiotes and Venom, because Venom is a symbiote. So this just seems a little, I don't know, a little soap opera-y. And I think the biggest thing that kills this for me is San Francisco. Like, it's really just San Francisco? Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go 40% because I think there are some nuggets in this that will come to fruition, but it's just kind of so much thrown at. We're gonna deal with it as if it were one rumor, say it's about 40% likely that this leak is accurate. So for those of you playing the home game, 50% is, it could go either way. Anything below 50% means that it's not likely to be real, and anything above 50% it is likely to be real. I feel like some of the comments recently have not really understood the way this system works, so I have to lay that out for you. Let's move on. Our next one is a tech rumor, which is very interesting. We don't usually get tech rumors much, but this one has to do with the ROG Ally, so it's kind of a gaming rumor as well. The rumor says that we're going to be getting a new version, not just the AMD Z1 series processor, which we kind of already know is happening, but they're going to be redoing the form factor for the ROG Ally, and they're going to be calling it the Legion Go Lite. I mean, like I said, we don't get a whole lot of tech rumors to deal with, so I don't really know the accuracy. Generally, though, where this rumor comes from, where they usually do deal in gaming rumors, they're pretty good. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, but this is kind of a trepidatious benefit of the doubt. We're gonna go about 75% likely that this is gonna be a thing. I don't see why not, but I feel like it might be another couple of generations down the road before they start really messing with that footprint. Next one on the list is a Doom rumor. Again, gaming rumors usually do us pretty well. We have a Doom, the Dark Ages, where this is yet another leak dealing in the gaming side of things. Gaming rumors usually pretty well. Leak rumors, I don't know, usually okay. I mean, it's still gaming. So this one, though, it's Doom Dark Ages is what the game is supposedly going to be called. The thing that I think I'm hanging up on here is that it's coming to Game Pass on day and date. I mean, is id part? They are part of it, though. It is part of Bethesda. I totally spaced that off when I was giving this its likelihood. But we're going to stick with the number I gave it just because, I don't know, I'm lazy. But yeah, we're going to say 80% likely that we're getting a Doom The Dark Ages game. And honestly, that's probably being a little cautious, and I don't need to be. Next one is Dragon Quest. We talked about it in the gaming section. We're talking about the rumors side of it here. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remaster in the works. Rumored is going to be more than just Dragon Quest 3 HD. It's going to be Dragon Quests 1, 2, and 3, and they're going to release it as, with the subtitle anyway, of the Erdrick Trilogy, because Dragon Quest, much like Final Fantasy, each game to a certain degree is fairly solo unto itself. It shares this universe with all the other games, but the story in and of itself, you don't have to play 1 to understand what the hell's going on in 10, etc., etc. So yeah, there's no reason to not think this. Again, with all of the little clues that they've been dropping in their marketing, kind of just makes sense. So we're gonna say 90% likely. I'll be very surprised if that doesn't happen. And then our next rumor is still in the gaming side of things. We have those Resident Evil remakes that have been going around. This is still technically rumor. However, it's pretty strong rumor because Capcom is doing the thing. They pushed back the Resident Evil 9 to late 2025 or early 2026. Again, this is all according to the rumor. They've pushed that back and because of development things, like, you know, kind of is to be expected at this point with modern gaming. So in order to create a sort of stopgap, they're going to be releasing Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0 in the meantime, with the same treatment that we've got for Resident Evil 4, 3, and 2. So everything up through 4 has been released, assuming these two come out, except for the first one, but that's only technically on modern console, whatever. The rumor here is Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0. Again, really no reason to think this is not going to be a thing. We're going to say 95% likely that we will be seeing remakes of both of those Resident Evil games. And then our final regular set of rumors has to do with Dr. Doom. We already talked about him once. Now we're talking about some new stuff around him. Also dealing with what Giancarlo said at the Comic-Con event. So take that with a grain of salt because he was still being pretty vague. But the rumor goes that he is going to be playing Dr. Doom and that there is going to be a Dr. Doom series that deals directly into the movie. He said something to the effect of, the character he plays is going to blow your mind. There's going to be a lot of teases for the character leading up to the big reveal. One of those being a series in which presumably is the big reveal, or maybe the big reveal happens slightly before and then it feeds into the series and the series feeds into the movie, something along those lines. Again, he was fairly vague, but series is the thing we're talking about here. I don't think they can afford Giancarlo Esposito to do both movie and series. Maybe if they had caught him shortly after Breaking Bad ended, that might have been a thing, but I don't know. It seems like Disney is being a little bit more cautious with their money these days. So that's the big thing that they say that the rumor says that he's going to be the star of the series. If it was a series is going to create whatever is needed to get to the Doctor Doom movie, that would be a little bit more believable. But if we're saying that Giancarlo Esposito is going to be playing Doctor Doom in a series on Amazon Prime, or I'm sorry, Disney Plus, that's where I'm going. Sorry, brain fart. Giancarlo Esposito playing Doom on Disney Plus in a series, even if it is just a limited 4-episode series, I just don't think I can buy that. So we're saying 20% likely that the series will happen. But that's what we got for the new rumors. Let's talk a little bit about speculation. First one has to do with The Boys, because Kripke has been around talking about things, and one of those things is that he wants to do a supernatural reunion on The Boys, because he already has Jensen Ackles, he already has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and he already has Bobby Butcher. Bobby was the character's name. I can't think of the actor's name now, and I didn't put it in the notes because I take amazing notes. But the thing that he's talking about is that he wants to bring Jared Padalecki in so that he has a proper right. So Walker just got canceled. Eric Kripke's kind of doing really great things with The Boys, so I think Amazon's going to give him the money that he needs to do. My speculation here is that I think he's going to get it. I think that he's going to get the approval. He's going to get Jared in on the action for season 5. It's obviously not going to be season 4 because season 4 is already done and in the pipe already. But season 5 is where he's talking about potentially wanting to do this, and I think Kripke gets what Kripke wants right now, so that's going to be pretty awesome. And then another piece of speculation for this episode has to do with Blade. We've talked about it a number of times. At this point, Mahershala Ali is not even technically a rumor. That's my speculation. I think that the Mahershala Ali situation with him potentially leaving the Blade franchise, doesn't want to play Blade anymore, I think that's just somebody kind of throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. I don't think there's any sort of basis in reality for that rumor. Again, because he has been such a huge champion of this project, there's no reason to believe that something of this caliber would push him out. So yeah, there is my bit of speculation and the end of the rumor section. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.